your bar for excellence. The most successful people I know have the lowest tolerance for mediocrity. And I think that you just have to have that for you.
So when you go about launching it, I'm curious, like what's going on in your brain, your body? Like, is this something that you're excited to launch it? You feel really good about it and you're like, okay, I got this. Like I put in the reps. Yeah. This has been through the ringer. This thing's a banger. Yeah. Or is it something that, like a lot of people, it's like you're nervous to the last line, like hoping it's being received. You're also kind of following up, and we all know how sequels go, a lot of pressure. And so, curious how you're feeling like going into launching something like that.
Well, the sequel thing for sure, in terms of, I set a bar with the first book that was unexpectedly well received. And so I worked probably 5 times, maybe 7 times more hours on leads than I did on offers. I also made a massive mistake with leads, which is that I did not narrowly define the problem. So I made it was such a hard book to write because the book was I did lead generation. Like I literally made a book on advertising that I don't think left anything out, which is insane. The first book was on how to make an offer, which is literally just such a tiny, it's super important, very high leverage, which is why it's such a valuable book. You can read the book and immediately make 10 times the money, which is great. But other components of the business don't have necessarily that level of leverage. And so to help someone get leads, it's like, well, I had to cover different platforms, media types, consumption types. I had to cover lead magnets. I had to cover actually like doing this. I had to make content across different platforms. There's so many things, but I think we did a pretty good job tackling those problems after 1,000+ pages of actual writing to just distill everything down. So to ladder back to the point that you were asking earlier, I felt truthfully very confident about the product when it came to the launch. And so I just wanted to get it in people's hands. I felt truthfully incredibly prepared for the launch. I had done that presentation 3 times a day for an entire month. And so every morning I would do the presentation in my head. So I'd go through the slides saying it, and then I would do one live and record it. And then I would play the recording back to myself with the slides in front of me. And I would pause it and make edits or add slides or take away slides or smooth over language where I felt it needed help. And so when I got there that day, I had done this before and I knew what I was going to say, and I could probably do the whole thing by heart without the slide. And so I tend to go into high stakes situations that way, which is the higher the stakes, the greater my preparation is, because I can eliminate my anxiety by preparing. And I know that if I have no anxiety on the day of, I will do well. And so I can control that to a great degree. So I do.
Yeah, we're seeing that way. Just put in the reps, put in the practice, and then that anxiety has a way of just working itself out, kind of channeling the anxiety into just some action and, delivering the evidence to conquer the self-doubt.
Well, I think a lot of people go into things underprepared. Yeah. And so I think it's reasonable that they have anxiety. Like it is good, it is right that you have anxiety. You're not prepared.